silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Creeping through the twisted wood, echoes shards where warriors stood. Just a breath, just a wish. No more war, no final fist. Wisdom whispers in the night. Strength in peace, no need to fight. Winners walk in soft embrace. No battle scars, no deadly taste. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease.
Whispers in the dead night fire, broken dreams and twisted wire. Darkness feeds on fear's desire, shadows creep, the flames grow higher. Ruler graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries in black and void, demons that I once enjoyed. Now a strength they can't avoid, living past I'm forced to destroy. I suppose the blood they crave, spirits risen from the grave, clawing beasts the souls they save. I'll be fighting till I cave, monsters hiding in my fears, bloody masks and deadly leers, fending off the painful jeers. Victory drowning in my tears. Battle cries in black and void, demons that I once enjoyed. Now a strength they can't avoid, living past I'm forced to destroy. 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 Moonlit graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries in black and void, demons that I once enjoyed. Now a strength they can't avoid, living past I'm forced to destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy.
Shadows crawl from the grave, whisper secrets dark and brave. Eyes that pierce into the night. Monsters come, we must fight. Candles flicker, casting dread. Ghostly wails fill my head, chasing demons lost in time. Sanity a steep climb. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Echoes of sins long past.
Alright, evening everybody. Welcome to another episode of Game Design with Mr. Bitey's. My name's Alan. I am the owner of Mr. Bitey's Games and Hobbies. So, tonight, a couple things. Number one, for anyone listening, I just wanted to say thank you. Last night we hit 81 subs, so I know that's not a lot compared to some of the bigger streams, but frankly, that's about 85 more than I ever expected to have. So, thank you everyone who's been following us, keeping an eye on us, and looking forward to the Shattered World. Number two, I've said it before, we have 3 conventions coming up. They will be posted on our website and our Facebook page. We will be at Great Escape on the Lake in August in Corning, New York. We will be at FlagCon, which is in Ithaca, New York, in November. And then also in November, we will be at Twin Tiers Comic Con in Elmira, New York. So, today, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be doing character creation. However, I've noticed that when I've done character creation in the past, it's very much been me making a comment along the lines of character creation is very easy, it's very quick. Really, it said everything was working. 1 minute. Huh. It's showing me speaking. One moment, let me reset something. All right. It's okay, Mad. We've all been there. So, what I'm going to do, let me put on the music. 1 moment. Tonight is going to be a little different. I'm going to go through character creation, and I am going to be silent for a little bit as I plow through doing this character. I am going to be doing this without saying a word and showing you how quickly one can get through character creation. Once I'm done, that's when I will go back and explain why I did what I did, etc., etc. R squared button actuator, ops check good. Also, hey Time, hey Mad, welcome to the stream, both of you. Good to see ya. And that's right. Good. Good. So let's do intimidate, melee, and tech. Now let's do craft. I like craft. So we want intimidate. We want... Let's go ahead and get 1 point in melee just to say we have it. And then tech. Done, done. Salary bonus +2. That's my culture. What do I currently do? Professional fighter. So, we want intimidate, we want athletics. And we want firearms. So athletics, intimidate, firearms. 4, 5, 4. Pressure point strike, no sell, and showmanship. Endurance 3, resolve 2. Resolve is fine. So we've got salary bonus +5. So that is 7 total. We've got just verify, done, done, done. Okay. So our culture and occupation are done. Organization. This is the morning after character. Alright, bonus to resolve, bonus to empathy. And then talk them down, vigilant defender, or shared knowledge. Resolve plus empathy, which I'm not that great at. Vigilant defender. I would need rookie knowledge. And then shared knowledge. I would still need rookie knowledge. So, as much as I like talk them down, this character doesn't have a lot of empathy, so we're just going to go with Vigilant Defender. We've got that. We've got that. We need rookie knowledge. Ah! Wrong button. Done, done, done. We're going to be rank 1. We're going to go with Strength and Semper Fortis for now. Drawbacks we're going to skip. Spending XP. We have 20 XP. So, looking back, skills cost 2 times the number of new ranks gained. We'll take care of these first. Attributes cost 1. And rookie knowledge, this will cost 2. We'll get 1, it will cost 2. So that's 6, we had 20. We've spent 6, so we're now at 14 XP left. Merits. Directed fire. Do we have... Our mental acuity is only 2. Let's go ahead and increase that to 3. We're now down to 10. Let's go ahead and give us... Directed fire. Oh. Directed fire requires leadership 4. So... we are not going to do that. Religious leader. We already took occult focus. That's interesting, but that's going to cost us 5 XP for the focus. Voice of authority. I like that. Nice, simple, easy. This will cost us 8 points. We don't really want that. Do we have the specialist in Intimidate? Yes, we do. I like until morale improves. I'm not going over it right now. I'm doing it after. picked up that. That'll leave me at 4. And that puts me at 0. Okay. Base stamina is equal to your endurance. I took the strength destiny. We have 1, so 4. So I have too many tabs. None. 7, 8. All right, so hey Noel, welcome to the stream. Good to see ya. So, extremely long story short, while I was doing character creation today, when I've done character creation in the past, I'm very much the let's stop, let's explain what I'm doing, let's take 20 minutes to describe this one feature. And it usually ended up with me opening the stream with, today we're going to do character creation. You can make a character in the Shattered World in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then taking 2.5 hours to do one character. So my goal for this one was to make the character first, which I did it in about 20-25 minutes, to show you how quickly you can flow through it pretty easily and make a solid character. And then I'm going to go back and explain what the hell I did, why I did it, etc. Let me get caught up with the chat. And Time already explained all this shit. Thank you, Time. I appreciate it. Nice. And Noel, how did the first session go? I appreciate it. Alright, so, to explain what I did. Too many tabs. Hold, please. So, as I stated at the beginning, every one of the characters, the beginner box, the 0-hour briefing, was going to come with 8 pre-made characters, one representing each organization. I don't know why I'm looking this way when my camera is right fucking here. Professionalism. So, I picked this, but I didn't. Factory worker. Is there anything else? No. Okay. So this character, one of the things I wanted to do was take... Okay, let me backtrack. One of the things I really like about some games, for example, D&D 3.5, Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition, is that you and I and Time and Mad, 4 or 5 of us can sit down and start with the same basic mechanic, right? We can all make level 1 human fighters, or just level 1 fighters, but we can all modify our character enough, despite having those shared features, into completely different characters. That was one of my major goals with the Shattered World. I wanted player and character expression to be first and foremost. So our last character had some decent leadership, and they had the mind enhancement. So I wanted to make a character that started with those two things and make a completely different character. So, what we came up with Alright, so what we did for our culture and occupation, we started with factory worker and professional fighter. Our main character concept was leading from the front. So rather than being the knowledge guy that sits back and knows everything and shouts plans out, this is going to be the guy who walks up and gets in your face. So we ended up with a stat spread of 4 ferocity, 1 agility, 3 endurance, 3 mental acuity, and 4 resolve. With the exception of agility, pretty balanced spread. Fairly ferocious, fairly hardy, fairly smart, solid resolve. He gets 3 actions per turn, kinda slow, movement speed of 5, only 1 destiny point, 3 potential evasions per turn, 1 armor, so whenever they take damage, it's reduced by 1. Their salary is 8, which is fine. Not great, not horrible, it's fine. Here is their big weakness at character creation. And while I did not finish with the gear purchasing, I just got the basic spread of shit to show you guys what was up. Stamina is only 7. Your stamina is a combination of 2 factors. Number 1, your endurance. My endurance, or his endurance was 3. And number 2, every time you take a destiny ability, each one of the destinies grants stamina. So I got 1 destiny ability from the strength destiny, so plus 4 stamina. If I had spent my points a little differently and gotten more destiny abilities, I would have a naturally higher stamina. But right now, this is still putting him at a decent amount. Mostly he's going to rely on heavier armor to reduce the damage he takes. So, as far as his skills, he got athletics. So, despite his 5 movement, he's still fairly maneuverable. His evasiveness is 3, so when you're looking at gear, there are basically 3 types of armor that you can wear. Outfits are just that. They provide no real bonus to armor, no real bonus to evasiveness, but they tend to provide other benefits. Business suit provides a bonus to crafting, blah, blah, blah. We went with heavy armor. Right now, we do not have a shield, but we can pick one up. So, because of our heavy armor, light armor gives a bonus to evasiveness, but not a lot of armor, not a lot of damage reduction. Heavy armor is the opposite. You take a penalty to evasiveness, but you gain damage reduction. So a person in heavy armor is going by default to get hit more, but they're also going to shrug it off. For those of you used to a D&D or Pathfinder style game, that may worry you because crits exist in those systems. Crits do not exist in the Shattered World. Instead, we use degrees of success and degrees of failure. for every 6 above or below your target number, you gain an additional effect or suffer an additional penalty. It's a little bit more of a curve than a flat crit or botch. So the -1 penalty to evasiveness doesn't hurt as much as it would in, say, Pathfinder 2E. So, Intimidate. Intimidate is going to be one of our major sources of crowd control, and it's also our tank ability through Aggressive Banter. Aggressive Banter, let me open Merits and Drawbacks back up. Give me a moment, I will be right back. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that, everybody. My oven timer went off. I forgot that I was cooking something. So, Aggressive Banter. Resolve 3, Rookie Intimidate. We're better than all of that. It also has the Vernacular tag. That means I need to be able to speak, and the enemy needs to be able to hear me. They don't necessarily need to be able to understand me. Spend 1 action and make a Resolve plus Intimidation check. So we're pretty decent at both of those. Versus your target's Resolve plus Empathy skill. I infuriate the target, forcing them to spend at least 1 action on their next turn targeting me, either moving towards me or targeting me with an ability or an attack. Combine that with the just straight, there's my tab, God, with the just straight Intimidate ability of Frighten, which reduces the amount of actions a target can get, increases the cost of actions for them to target me. Basically allows me some solid single target crowd control. Leadership gives me tactical acumen and battle analysis, both of which can buff myself or allies, making my people around me much better. Melee, 1 point, it's a backup. Empathy, again, I know a little bit. Empathy is used in a lot of defensive roles, and not very empathetic. Firearms 4, that's my predominant means of attack. Shotguns attack in a cone. So that gives me a little bit of limited AoE. And then with all firearms, the main difference between melee weapons and firearms is that melee weapons generally do more damage per hit. However, firearms not only allow you to fire from cover, thus attacking a little safer, but they also, it's really easy to swap out their ammo. So there's a lot more versatility. Knowledge 1, we literally just got it so we qualified for a merit. And then Tech 1, we know a little bit about making shit or using tech. We're not great, but we know enough. When you put your first rank into either firearms, craft, melee, or knowledge, you get a specialty. We chose shotguns, small blades, and occult. Now, weapons. I want to talk about this real quick. It comes more into play with the melee weapons, but it's also with the ranged weapons as well a little bit. Their names. Yeah, that sounds cool as hell, Noel. I hope y'all have fun playing. That sounds awesome. But, back on topic. I got this. I know what I'm doing. So, when you look at, let me pull up gear descriptions. So when you look at the weapons, you won't see brand names, you won't see types. You know, small blades. You got dagger, single edge straight, double edge straight, thrusting straight. Alright, be right back. That's hopefully my food. Alright, I am back. Sorry again about that. I was making some strawberry zucchini bread, and I'm very much excited for it. But, so, one of the things that always bugged me about some games, and I'm not going to go into specifics here, because a couple of them have done it, but there was a modern game that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was made by a rather big company. It was their push into the urban modern setting, and it used a D20. I'm sure we can guess the name, but I won't say it. You hear that, corporate overlords? I'm not naming it. One of the things they did was they put out an armory book. And it was supposed to be this book of nothing but firearms and weapons for a modern campaign. And my roommate at the time was very much a gun nut. Not my thing, it's his thing, more power to him. He was super fucking excited for this book. Soon as it came out, it's the only book, it's the only tabletop RPG book I remember him pre-ordering. He pre-ordered it, he got it, brought it home, popped it open, and the first page of handguns, for example, the first page had like 30 handguns, and of the 30, 25 of them were the fucking same. Same damage, same traits. It was the same gun. They just changed the name. And the book was full of stuff like that. I hate that. In addition, one of my big complaints about Dungeons and Dragons, I went into this a little bit last Monday's stream, but I'll go into it a little quicker here. I understand that you have to stretch what a player gets across their career. For D&D, that means levels, right? Most campaigns end at like level 10 to 12. Yeah, your character can go up to 20, but most campaigns, as per Wizards of the Coast themselves, end in that 10 to 12 range. So, you have basic weapons at level 1. Level 2, level 3, you get masterwork weapons, which is a +1 to attack only. Between level 3 and level 5, you get your +1 weapon, +1 to attack and damage. Okay. Tell me why I'm waiting till nearly halfway through my character's career to get a +1 to attack and damage. That's bullshit. Excuse the language, there's no other word for it. There's like 18 different daggers, but there's really only 2. Right? Like, the game doesn't really give you a lot of options. It gives you the illusion of options, but it doesn't give you a lot of different choices once you break it down practically. So one of the ways I wanted to combat that was through what I'm calling our modification system. When you get the core rulebook, right, our field manual, all of the base weapons will be named like that. Small blade, single edge, straight, one-handed weapon. At the end of the gear section will be a list of examples. Do you want a Chinese-style Dao? Here is what you do. You start with a double-edged straight, one-handed weapon. You then pick up the flexible body modification. You then pick up the slight whatever, right? Like, here are the modifications you take. Here's how you make the weapon your own. The modification system is designed to where if your character can afford it, you can start taking weapon modifications at character creation. You no longer have to wait halfway through your career. In addition, every time you put a modification on your weapon, you get a +1 bonus to attack and damage. You no longer have to choose between getting that mathematical bonus you need to be competent enough to do your job and getting the ability to do cool shit. Yeah, it's... He and I didn't see eye to eye on a lot, but I genuinely felt bad for him at that point. It was complete bullshit. And that's one of the things I'm trying to avoid. But that is why all the weapons, you know, large blade, double-edged straight. Do you want a Scottish-style claymore? This is what you start with. You have 6 modification slots. Here are the different modifications you will put on. This will give you a Scottish-style claymore. This will give you a Parisian scimitar. This will give you blah, blah, blah. Shotguns. Break action shotgun. You ever see in movies the type of shotgun? It's basically, it comes in single or double barrel version, but where you have the barrel and then the grip, and you break it open and load the shells from the back and then click it back together. That's a break action shotgun. Again, I keep looking here when my camera is right here. I'm really sorry. But, yeah, that's a break action shotgun. It starts out single barrel. Do you want a double barrel shotgun? Here's what you do. Did you really like the movie Cobra and you want the dagger that Sylvester Stallone had? Here's what you do, right? Like, obviously I can't use real movie examples because I don't have the rights to those movies. But that is how we're handling that. Bonus traits. So again, shotguns all by default have the spread trait, meaning they attack in a cone. For shotguns and long arms specifically, penetration and spread. Penetration, you attack in a line. You hit the first 2 targets in the line. Shotguns, you attack in a cone. You hit the first 2 targets in the cone. If one of those targets is your ally, oops. Firearm safety is important, boys and girls. Know your target, know what's behind your target. Oops. Alright, it went black. It should pop back up in a second. Okay, cool. So, long arms, shotguns, for firearms, they tend to offer really good damage, but they have that potential downside. Handguns all have the quick draw. Normally, everything you do is an action. Do you want to draw your weapon? Fire it? That's 2 actions. Quick draw, you take a penalty, but you can draw and fire it as one action. And then exotic firearms tend to have special damage because exotic firearms are, again, flamethrowers, grenade launchers, etc. The main difference between a flamethrower and a hunting rifle, both of them, the long arm and the flamethrower, attack in a line. However, the flamethrower hits every target in that line. The long arm just hits the first 2. And that is basically it as far as weapons are concerned. Any questions on that? We have our basic character done. I am going to wait just a minute, and then I'm going to move on to the next character. And again, this is going to be one where I'm going to be largely quiet as I make it, and then I'm going to go over. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm still putting the final touches on the system, but so far I've had a lot of fun designing it. So we've got this saved. Now let's say, well, let's wait a second. Let me look at the organizations. Tell you what, we're going to do the necessary next. No. We're going to do a damage dealer. We're going to do SHI. So. Yes. I am very much the type of person where if the game launches Tuesday at 2 p.m., I am going to be making last-minute changes at, like, 1:48 on Tuesday. I'm that... It's bad. It's not good. But I am anxious as shit, and I'm that guy. So, next up, we're going to do Supernatural Hunters Incorporated. And this is going to be our paramilitary guy. This is going to be our legitimate mercenary. So, let's save. Ah! Gonna fail at just deleting shit. God, I quit. Alright, so our idea from this is very much someone that just blows everything the fuck up. This is going to be our no frills, nothing special. I say nothing special. This is going to be the straight damage dealer. This is, if you're familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, this is going to be the fucking Bruja, right? Hey, Super, how you been doing? Welcome to the stream. If you haven't started following Super yet, I strongly recommend it. They are fucking amazing. Super awesome, great streams. Somehow I'm alive and kicking as well. We're doing character creation tonight. I am making characters for the 0-hour briefing, the beginner box. Just like last time, I am going to be quiet for a couple minutes as I plow through character creation, and then I'm going to go back and fully explain what I did, why I did it, etc., rather than trying to explain as I do it. Last Monday, I did it that way, right? Like where I explained every choice as I was making it, and it took 2 hours to create a character. Doing it this way gives a better estimation for people to see how long it takes to create a character. And timed me, and it took me 24 minutes. And that was with me clicking on 30 fucking tabs at once. So, I am going to be quiet for just a minute. Both. And I'll explain why when I get to it. But this is going to be someone that can do both. Go ahead and ask questions, make comments in chat, talk amongst yourselves. I will absolutely respond as I can. It's just going to be a minute. I apologize. So we've got that. We've got that. 10 points. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next up is going to be skills. One, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's done. Enhancements. So I already chose Hawkeye. Merit one drawback. We're gonna go. Okay. If I could spell, that would be fucking awesome, wouldn't it? Okay. Oh, music stopped. Hold, please. Okay. And we're going to take aggressive banter, salary increase +3. We got that, we got that, we got that. Okay, and now for our occupation. What are we currently doing? We need Intimidate 1. Alright, so we're going to go law enforcement. And we're going to go with firearms, intimidate, and perception. Firearms, intimidate, and perception. So we can knock that away since we now qualify for it. So our options are voice of authority, those ones. We're not really the leader type. Subtle threats. We've got Rookie Intimidate. We're going up to Resolve 3 anyway. Add your Intimidation Synergy bonus to any persuasion check you make. We don't want that right now, because we're not going to qualify for that. We don't really qualify for that either. That's really good. So we will... I really like that. We're not going to have a lot. So... We picked salary bonus +3. That is done. Organization, we already know, is going to be SHI. Bonus to ferocity. aptitude there. Our merits are no place to hide, advanced weaponry, or supernatural slayer. Alright, so this is more... No. Maybe. No, let's go. Done. Done. Destinies. All right. Sorry for the quietness, but we are now done, and just like before, we're going to go over it now. So, this is our big damage dealer. This is our big single target damage dealer. They're really good at what they do, but they lack the versatility that some of the other classes have, or other characters will have. Their whole thing is make bad guys not alive anymore. Yay, Blood Fury. But, so here's what we went with, here is why we went with it. So our main idea is, again, a mercenary. Our main methods of controlling the battlefield: A, by making things dead. Craft gives us the ability to both modify our own firearms and any party member, so we do have some things to do in the downtime. Our Intimidate is really just there to mess with people. It's not something we're going to be particularly great at, but it's there as a tactic. Our main thing is Perception. Combined with our good mental acuity, we're going to be able to see it. Our Stealth is okay, especially combined with our Agility. Now, Ferocity I want to talk about, because this is going to be a unique character in this regard. Normally, your key attributes run on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 meaning you're inept, 5 being max human potential. The most ferocious normal person in the world would have a ferocity of 5. When you choose your enhancement is the way the tear changed you. Your enhancement is tied to one attribute. We chose Sight, that's tied to our ferocity. Our ferocity, and only our ferocity, can go up to 6. We are superhuman. We're basically human plus. If you're familiar with comics, in the terms of our chosen attribute, we're basically a high-end street-level character. So, you know, if a street-level character is Nightwing or someone like that, you know, Daredevil, we're, in our chosen thing, we're a Luke Cage, or we're a, not quite a Batman because he's fucking stupid, but said with mostly love. But you know what I mean. We're slightly above human. The example I usually give is, if we get in a fight, we may punch you through a brick wall or punch through a brick wall ourselves, but we're not going to rip the building out of its fucking foundation and use it as a baseball bat. That is a different game entirely. Demolitions. In the gear section, there is a list of different demolition charges. You can also take cover. And with our Destiny ability, Man the Barricades, we get a bonus to our range if we are behind, if we're in cover. So, our whole battle plan with this character is basically going to be sneaking around, doing sneaky shit, setting demolition charges, preceding the battle, taking up a strong defensive position with our sniper rifle, and blasting the shit out of anything that gets close. As you gain more experience, there's other things you can pick up. There's a couple merits that look good. There's one I'm blanking on, but I saw it earlier, and I was like, oh, I want to take that, but I ain't have the points. The weaknesses of this character, predominantly, that 3 stamina hurts. We do not want to get close to our enemies. We are very much a glass cannon. We get drastically more actions than most. I say drastically. All player characters get at least 2 actions. Most will be in that 3 to 5 ferocity range, so most player characters will get 3. We've got 4. Our speed is pretty solid. We don't have a lot of destiny points, God. So we're not doing a lot of flashy shit. But we're very much the best we are at what we do. What we do is pray to God we don't get fucking hit. Later, you can pick up other craft specialties such as structural to start building your own barricades. Other knowledge specialties when it hurt. There is also another Supernatural Hunters Incorporated. I almost picked this one. Advanced weaponry when using exotic firearms or demolitions. I wanted to go more sniper with this build, which is why I took the hunting rifle. If I had instead gone with one of the flamers or grenade launchers, this would have been amazing. Increase the affected area so we can hit more targets if they're close together. All targets within the area, friend or foe, take a penalty to avoid damage. That's great. All of this is good. For merits, one of the things I want to point out, I don't think I have yet. The Shattered World is a classless system. It is a levelless system. When you get your XP, you spend it directly where you want it. If you want a merit, you buy the merit. If you want to increase your attributes like we did, you increase your attributes. You don't level up. How do you get better over time? This is the predominant. You'll see here, advanced weaponry says skill exotic firearms. This merit is tied to the exotic firearms skill. This is your base ability. Anyone who has at least 1 rank in exotic firearms gets access to this base ability when they take this merit. If I have 4 ranks or more in exotic firearms, I will get access to the specialist ability for this merit. I may ignore up to 2 points of armor gained from cover when targeting enemies with exotic firearms or demolitions. That's really good. Pinnacle, 7 is the max amount of ranks you can get in a skill. If I've reached the pinnacle, once per encounter, I get the pinnacle ability. Once per encounter, I can designate a single area attack with exotic firearms or demolitions as a suppression strike. Targets who fail to avoid damage must spend their next action either going prone or taking cover, meaning they have to spend an action, meaning they have less actions to hurt my allies and hurt me. That's a really good ability. I ended up going with Supernatural Slayer instead. This is tied to knowledge. We have the basic rookie level of knowledge. You gain a +1 to attack and damage against adversaries from the Coinbound, Revenant, Voidborn, and Heralds categories. So, against certain enemies, bonus to attack and damage. That increases to higher attack and damage and ignoring armor. And then, again, more damage, completely ignore armor or resistance granted by supernatural sources. This is not a complicated character, but they're very good at what they do. This character is also really good as a beginner character for teaching purposes. If you ignore the rest of the sheet and you just look at weapons, hunting rifle, huge bonus to attack, damage, huge range, 11 squares, penetration, okay, I can hit 2 targets, cool. Takes both my hands. Magazine of 15 means I get 15 shots before I have to worry about reloading. But melee weapon, single-edged curve. Okay, I've got a little scimitar, little machete, whatever. 6 to attack. Okay, it's not as good. 10 damage. Over double the damage. Holy shit. Why am I not just running up in melee every time? Because I can kill things because I'm doing 10 damage when I hit. Well, for one, you're not as accurate, so you're not guaranteed to hit it. But number 2, that's why. Alright. I like the idea of Blood Fury. That's kind of cool. So, to get back to the character, we've got all that done. We've got that done. Armor, reinforced clothing. Basically, he's wearing the modern fantasy equivalent of jeans and a t-shirt that has a little bit of extra padding. Mostly, he's going to survive by not being hit. That is this character's goal. Will they succeed? I hope so. But this is our character done. And it is currently 10:05. I am not going to have time to start another character. But we got 2 of them done. That's fairly good. And that is still with me fully explaining shit, going over why I picked what I picked, etc. So, before I start the raid to another channel, did any of you have any questions for me? Anything about Vampire the Masquerade? Amazing game, horrible game, love it. Anything about the Shattered World? Anything you saw tonight? Didn't make sense? Confusing? You really liked it? Thank you. One of the things I always try and do, especially for these beginner box characters, I want you to be able to do cool shit. Why else do we play these types of games, right? Like, to do cool shit. But this is a cooperative storytelling game. No one player is the main character. It's an ensemble game. It's an ensemble cast. Think of it like the Avengers, right? Like, or the way Justice fucking been, and not just the Superman show. Um, no ranting. Character has some pretty severe downsides, but they have a place on the team. They're really good at what they do. You can absolutely have fun playing this character. All of the characters are going to be designed to emulate a different play style. One of the characters, I'm not sure which one he's going to go. It may be my Vivictus, but they're basically going to be that shit-talking boxer. I plan to have a mix of characters that don't really do a lot of combat but contribute in other ways, a mix of characters that can mess with stuff. One of the other things to remember, and I go over this every time I run the Shattered World, because in my experience I have to. A lot of tabletop RPGs default to that Tolkien fantasy, high fantasy genre, right? There's a reason D&D owns like 60% of the market. Pathfinder, high fantasy. Yeah, you have characters that have guns, but predominantly it's elves and orcs and swords and shields and sorcery. That genre is a huge thing in tabletop. This is modern fantasy. Yes, magic exists, but so do cameras, and automatic door locks, and cars. So, those are all things to keep in mind. And there are characters that are going to be designed for all of those things. So, I'm going to go ahead and start the raid in just a minute. So, funny you should say Macaroni Mage. I don't know how much of the Sunday stream you've caught, but Super's character, Emor Dead Now, I'm Your Dad Now, has a merit called Kinaic Trained, where whenever he makes a pharmaceutical item, a healing item, I keep looking over here like my camera's over here. God, that's going to infuriate me. Whenever he makes a pharmaceutical item, a healing item, he can instead make it as a meal. And you can eat it to gain the benefits of the item. The last time he used it, he basically made healing bandages, only he made them as a smoothie. When the characters were all in the desecrated smoothie shop. So, you can absolutely do stuff like that. So, I don't know who this person is, but their tags are... They're doing a big news and writing stream, and one of their tags is Poor Life Choices. I respect that. So, we are going to attempt to raid... Oops. It would help if I copied their name and not the name of their stream. Alright, we are rating Single Step Gaming. Our next stream will be tomorrow, Tuesday, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing Bitey's Breaks, continuing with Claire Obscure. So, everybody, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Y'all take care, be safe, and I'll see you next time.